What up, world? Welcome to this special edition of the Blunt Talk Sports Podcast, NFL Free Agency Day 1 Recap Edition. I thank you guys, as always, for watching. Like, share, and subscribe. It helps the channel. You can check the show out on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Substack, Patreon, Trovo, and as well as on Podbean. What up, world? To my UK subscribers and subscribers in Europe, if you're looking for the #1 place in the world for tickets to live events, shows, and concerts, check out Viagogo. Viagogo is the world's secondary largest marketplace for tickets to live events, shows, and concerts. So if you're looking for anything comedic, music, any live events, games, soccer, big matches coming up throughout the season, wherever it is that you're looking for, definitely check out the Blunt Talk Sports Podcast. I will have links in the description of my videos for any of the latest upcoming events. So if you're definitely looking to get out and spend some time out there in the UK or Europe abroad, definitely check out the Blunt Talk Sports Podcast. Love you guys. Take care. And as always, like, share, and subscribe. I'm coming to you guys this day with this recap. I'm actually in the midst of day 2. There's an episode that I have coming out later today. Definitely stay tuned on the live stream for that. But I have pretty much day 2 recap coming out later on today. However, I'm doing day 1. Like I said, it's Tuesday, March 11th. So we're in the midst of day 2, but I just wanted to recap all the glorious news from day 1, all the excitement league-wide that was going on. It was funny. I was at work yesterday, and it just kind of felt like the world was on pause, strictly because if you were plugged into the NFL or you were plugged into free agency, you were literally waiting to see what moves were going to be made and what was going to be done. So exciting, always exciting time of year. I love this fucking time of year. It's kind of like the second Christmas or early Christmas for me. So I love this. So definitely love you guys for sharing this with me and sharing this experience, and continue to plug in and watch. The show's only going to continue to get better. That being said, we're going to hop into we're going to talk about the quarterbacks first. And I kind of did this in tiers. I did quarterbacks, trades. Then I went over certain specific teams and then certain specific positions. So I'm going to pretty much chronologize as much as I can from day 1, the most pertinent information I thought. I didn't go over every single solitary day 1 move. There were a shitload of transactions from yesterday, and there's still a litany of guys that are in free agency. I'm going to touch on that as well. But anyway, nonetheless, hopping right into it. Sam Darnold signing with the Seattle Seahawks. 3 years, 100 million, 100.5 million. This move to me is a bit perplexing. It seems like a lateral move. And bear with me when I say this. Geno Smith's body of work, I think he's shown so far in this, outside of his tenure with the Jets and the Giants, he's shown he can be a decent quarterback. He's not great. He definitely can make mistakes, but if you have enough talent around him and things are kind of tailored a certain way, you can definitely win with Geno Smith. He can get you to the playoffs, win a game or two. And then at that point, all bets are off. Sam Darnold has not even done that. I mean, Sam Darnold literally he's been in the league. He's been on various teams. We all know he got the Godfather blessing from Kyle Shanahan. Kyle Shanahan pretty much said, hey, he's good to go. There's nothing to worry about. That being said, he goes to Minnesota. He goes with the coach whisperer, a.k.a. Kevin O'Connell. And that kind of works out for him. That being said, it's a bit perplexing on why you would make that jump and make this move right now. I guess they're just really in the midst of rebuilding. John Schneider's no fucking fool. He's been doing this for a long time. I'm pretty sure he had an idea of what he was doing. This deal was pretty much done Friday or Saturday. Excuse me. You don't get rid of Geno Smith if you don't really have a plan in place. Sam Darnold's their plan, and it just seems like they're going to kind of come with that hardball approach where tough and physical defensively, attacking, aggressive. And then on offense, they're going to run the ball. They're going to take their shots, use play action, and then, live and die with that. That can work. In the NFC West, we'll touch on the 49ers a little bit in a different episode, but I think they're definitely going to be taking a step back with a lot of the guys they've let go. A lot of rebuilding that they're going to have to partake in. And I think it's going to be beneficial for them, San Francisco, that is. I think the 49ers, them having to take a step back and get youthful will definitely help them. But that being said, if you're Seattle, the Rams are still better than you at this current moment. The Cardinals sneakily could be better than you, going into this offseason. So a lot of things to kind of, digest with that. But Sam Darnold move, not really a big fan of it. A fan of a move, one move that I was a fan of, was Justin Fields going to the New York Jets, signing a 2-year, $40 million contract, $30 million guaranteed. I love this move. Justin Fields, I felt like has never really had a true opportunity outside of maybe his first or second year in Chicago to truly grasp the reins and start. He's never really had a true quarterbacks coach, never really had a true offensive minded coach to really gear towards his play set. Now, his skill set. Now, Aaron Glenn is known as a defensive player. He was a defensive player in the NFL, defensive coordinator coming from the Detroit Lions. That being said, I do feel like with the offensive staff that they have in place, they will be able to get the most that they can out of Justin Fields. This is make or break for Justin Fields. Make no mistake about it. If he cannot succeed here, he'll consistently and persistently be a perennial backup. So I love the signing by the Jets. I think they did the right thing by trusting Justin Fields. This buys them time. They don't have to worry about replacing or getting a young guy in the draft necessarily early in the draft. Maybe still make a late pick, but you don't have to necessarily spend early draft capital on a quarterback this year. You can really fill the needs of the team up. And this buys you at least a year and a half or a year's worth of time. Outside of that, that was really only quarterback moves for day one. Now, if we're talking about, big name quarterbacks, I should say. Now, if we're talking about trades, now there were some big trades that happened yesterday. None bigger than the Laramie Tunsil trade. The Houston Texans traded Laramie Tunsil to the Commanders for a 2025 third-round pick. Now, keep this in mind. It wasn't just a 2025 third-round pick. It was also a 2025 seventh and a 2026 second-round pick, and a 2026 fourth-round pick that Washington is going to recoup. Washington's going to send as well. Washington will also receive a 2025 fourth-round pick in conjunction with Laramie Tunsil. I think this is great as far as immediate help for Jaden Daniels. However, this roster seems already old and top-heavy. Zach Ertz, Laramie Tunsil, Bobby Wagner. You just got rid of Jonathan Allen. I'm not really sure. I get it. You got to the NFC Championship game. I get it that you really feel like, you can really compete and do something right now. And it really can add and really help you, compete in the NFC. I really feel like they're fucking this roster up right now. You need to inject youth into this roster if you're Washington. You need more youth, and you need plug and play youth is what I'm trying to say. You need young guys that you can plug and play right now. You don't need more old guys that, Debo, Laramie, and don't get me wrong, Laramie Tunsil, he's still a good left tackle in the NFL. He's not a bum, but he's very inconsistent. Very inconsistent. And being as inconsistent as he is, it's kind of shocking that they kind of went in this direction, but it is what it is. I mean, you got to expect that they needed a left tackle after they got obliterated in the NFC Championship game by the What up, y'all? Looking to get out, spend some time with your loved one, spouse, kids, trying to get to that closest concert or event, not sure how to get to it, then look no further than the #1 ticket getter in the world and reseller, StubHub, the #1 place in the world for tickets to live events, shows, and concerts. And StubHub is the world's top destination and top ticket buyers and resellers. So if you're definitely looking for tickets to StubHub, definitely check out the Blunt Talk Sports podcast. I will always have descriptions, links within my description of my videos where you can definitely get tickets to any of the concerts, sporting events, music events, live shows, tours, whatever it is that you're looking for. StubHub has it. And like I said, if you're definitely looking to get tickets to these events, definitely check out the Blunt Talk Sports podcast. Love you guys. And as always, StubHub, the #1 place in the world for tickets to live events, shows, and concerts. They know for a fact they need offensive line play. So remains to be seen, but I just think it's a little bit too top heavy and adding a little too many old heads to the roster if you're Washington or Dan Quinn. Also, another trade that happened yesterday. The Eagles traded Kenny Pickett to the Browns for Dorian Thompson-Robinson in the 5th-round pick. I love this trade strictly because I think DTR has been in a system where it's not that I think Kevin Stefanski is a bad coach. I don't really sweat the Coach of the Year rankings too much. I think that's kind of bullshit. It's more of a favoritism award. That being said, I do think Kevin Stefanski's done a great job coaching the Browns. But I also feel like the mandate came down from management that Jimmy Haslam, stated that Deshaun Watson was going to play. So there was never really an opportunity or time for Dorian Thompson-Robinson to really get reps, to really take over or supplant Deshaun Watson, or to have an opportunity to. Jameis Winston outplayed him at points, but I just feel like, that's also veteran expertise, and we'll see. But I definitely think him being in Philadelphia, a lot of guys that get in Philadelphia, they get in that environment, they put that Eagles uniform on, they just, coach it, they get coached up, they play a little bit better. So, and I think he kind of fits the skill set of what the Eagles do offensively better than what Kenny Pickett did. I won't bullshit you. You've seen the guys in previous episodes from last season. I was definitely a bit worried when Jalen was out and Kenny Pickett had to come in. Played solid against Washington. Played solid against the Dallas Cowboys. Nonetheless, got injured in that game. Got concussed. Had to come out. So, not thrilled. Wasn't really thrilled with Kenny Pickett too much. But nonetheless, happy that he helped contribute and help us, win a Super Bowl. But I love this move with Dorian Thompson-Robinson. And backup quarterback, as we know in Philadelphia, is one of the preemptive positions on the team. So this was important. So love the move. And especially DTR with Chip Kelly at UCLA. I mean, he was very exciting with Chip Kelly there. And so I'm excited to see what he could do potentially as far as growth. As far as sad news, as far as the Bird game is concerned, you had Josh Sweat leaving, going to the Arizona Cardinals, 4 years, $76.4 million. Milton Williams leaving, going to the Patriots, 4 years, $104 million. You also had Isaiah Rodgers leaving, going to the Minnesota Vikings, 2 years, $12 million. A lot of Eagles were leaving yesterday. It's kind of sad. Like I said, you also saw Darius Slay reach an agreement with the Steelers, but no contract has been reached yet. You have Oren Burks, who came in and played masterfully at middle linebacker for Nakobe Dean after Nakobe Dean went down after the first round Packers playoff game. He went to Cincinnati. So a lot of moving parts in Philadelphia, but nothing that was unexpected. As long as the core is intact and you can add on the peripheral, you're fine. So completely understand what Philadelphia was thinking in this situation. So not really too shocked by any of this. Going a bit further, Grady Jarrett, a long-time Atlanta Falcon, was released and was not on the free agent market long. The Chicago Bears, who definitely were outspending money on day one, signed Grady Jarrett, 3 years, $43.5 million. Love the approach, like how Grady Jarrett plays. Definitely like the signing by the Chicago Bears. They signed a shitload of linemen. We all know about the Joe Thuney trade. I touched on that on the show, on the episode previously on the show. They also signed Drew Dalman, which I think was a great signing for the Falcons, former Falcon center. The Bears know we got to protect Caleb Williams. We can't protect Caleb Williams, we're not going to win any games. So I definitely understand the mindset and the logic. Got to give them a shitload of credit for what they're doing. We'll see if it works, but so far they're definitely winning the offseason. You also have here Carlton Davis, former Lions and Tampa Bay Buccaneers cornerback. He signed with the New England Patriots. Mike Vrabel strikes again, revamping that defense, 3 years, $60 million. You have Charvarius Ward, a.k.a. Choke Vorius Ward, in my opinion, signing with the Indianapolis Colts on a 3-year deal. Excuse me. And one of the most underrated signings of yesterday, which I thought was very good. New Orleans Saints former New Orleans Saints cornerback Paulson Adebo signed with the New York Giants on a 3-year deal. Definitely a good cornerback. Definitely a guy that's testy, will fight, can definitely fight in space. Good cover corner. Giants needed him. Loved it. Loved the signing. So definitely want to give a shout out there. And if we're looking at the Tampa Bay Buccaneers made some huge signings as well on day one. Chris Godwin, they were able to re-sign Chris Godwin. They re-signed him. Now, I actually kind of did an episode. Not sure if you guys were able to see it because I posted it. It was a little bit of trouble with the episode, but I had said it to anyone that had listened, that would listen. There's no way in hell another team was giving Chris Godwin 3 years, $66 million. I checked on SpotRack. I saw the market value. I saw that's what he could re-sign for. He's their guy. They owe him with all the injuries that he's suffered. He's played great football for them when he's been needed, when duty has been called upon him. But nonetheless, no team was giving him that salary with the injury history. And then missing last year with the ankle injury. Just didn't see anybody giving him that type of money. So shout out to Chris Godwin for getting the bag with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. He deserves it. And also, shout out to my boy Hassan Reddick. Hassan Reddick getting signed a 1 year, $14 million deal after that hellacious season with the New York Jets. He got the fuck out of New York, out of North Jersey, and got to North Florida. Definitely see that everything works out for him. Southern Florida. But I definitely think that this could definitely work out for Hassan Reddick. His skill set's definitely needed. They just let one of their edge rushers go in free agency to the Browns today. So definitely think that Hassan Reddick is definitely going to be a huge addition for them. Sticking with the 49ers, as I earlier loosely referenced, Dre Greenlaw, he signed with the Broncos. Agreement has been reached. No contract has been established yet, but he's another one that has bit the dust. These 49er moves, man, like I said, you've already heard me mention Javorius Ward, Dre Greenlaw, Javon Hargrave. He signed with the Minnesota Vikings today. They had a lot of guys that they're losing, and I predicted this over a year ago that this was going to happen, that they were going to have to rebuild this roster because Kyle and John Lynch made a lot of foolish decisions. You're kind of hearing a lot of rumbling and grumblings out of San Francisco that the ownership is going to be a little bit tighter on the purse as far as, spending money. I think that could be a catch-22. I think that could be bad in one regard because you've trusted him this much. A lot of his decisions have worked out. You just haven't won a Super Bowl, so you can't say he's ultimately failed you. Nonetheless, though, I do think I understand where the York family is coming from. You've caused us to spend a lot of money on guys who are either injured, don't play, or are no longer on this roster. So paying Brock Purdy, the draft, is going to be crucial for the 49ers for the next 2 years. This is going to be the first time where you're going to be looking up and you're going to be saying, damn, the San Francisco 49ers do not have the best roster, one of the top 5 or top 10 or top 15 best rosters in the NFL. It's going to be an adjustment. I know 49ers fans, the real 49ers fans that have been paying attention and plugged in, they knew this was coming. When you didn't win that Super Bowl 2 years ago, that pretty much slammed the window shut. It slammed it shut. You can't continue to expect guys to stay healthy when you're always injured. Whether it been Debo, whether it been Bosa, the quarterback play prior to Brock Purdy, and even Brock Purdy to a degree battling with injuries. Brandon Ayuk battling with injuries. Trent Williams battling with injuries. It became too much. And the bleeding, should have, honestly, the Band-Aid should have been ripped off 2 years ago when they lost the Super Bowl. But I just kind of felt like that maybe Kyle Shanahan felt like maybe we should hold on a little bit longer, squeeze some more juice out of this orange. It was a mistake. I've called it and said it from the beginning it was a mistake. Kyle's going to learn from this. I'm not sure it's going to necessarily cost him his job, but I kind of feel like that's the next step after this with all this playing out. And especially we'll see how this team plays out. Because, again, they won 6 games last year. If they win similar amount this coming year, I do think it's a question if he comes back after the 2025-26 season. Going a bit further, this one perplexed the shit out of me. I was very confused by this one. J.C. Horn. Now, I know David Tepper is a fucking retard when it comes to, front office decisions and allowing his, front office guys to just manage things and do their job. This decision makes no sense to me. You have J.C. Horn, who is signing a 4-year extension, making him the highest paid defensive back in NFL history. And he has had nothing but injuries and inconsistency. I mean, I think he's played 38 games in his career so far, and he's been in the league since 2020, 2021. That's not good. I mean, that's just like this bad business. You're betting against yourself. You're literally wagering against yourself. But it's the Panthers. Not really shocked. I mean, obviously you saw they got bullied and bitched from Milton Williams yesterday. So not really looking great for the Panthers too much of free agency. I'm not saying that it's all been a flop, but definitely have had some moves where it makes you scratch your head and go, what the hell are they doing over there? And rounding up the list, we ended up with Khalil Mack re-signing with the Los Angeles Chargers for 1 year, $18 million. I must say, this one made the most sense to me because I kind of felt like Khalil Mack, he had a solid year last year. He had 6 sacks. He had a couple of forced fumbles. You kind of got the gist that he was one of those guys where if he didn't work out in Los Angeles, he was going to be somewhere else playing, at a decent level or potentially a high level. So I'm glad to see that he's going to still be in that Jesse Minter defense, coming back with the hard balls and adding veteran leadership, because they're definitely going to draft a linebacker. And having him there is just going to be immense. And before we wrap up this episode, we're going to touch on the remaining free agents left available, most important ones. We still got Stephon Diggs out there. I think he's definitely going to be out there for a while. We got Joey Bosa, who's been loosely referenced to the 49ers. It's a great chance they might want to get him to team up with his brother. We'll see. Definitely with the injury history he's had, we'll see how that works out. Keenan Allen's still out there. Amari Cooper. Von Miller, he just got released about 2 days ago, so he's still out there. Brandon Cooks, free agent, definitely out there. Deontay Johnson, knowing his reputation as being a quitter, not sure if anybody's going to necessarily want him. You got Cam Robinson, Draymond Jones. I mean, the list goes on. You got, Joe Noteboom, Preston Smith, DeAndre Hopkins, Justin Reed. Justin Reed's probably the most notable name on the list because of the age and the fact that I think the safety market hasn't really developed in the way that he thought it would. So kind of interesting. Think he could possibly end up a Philadelphia Eagle, but we'll see. Justin Simmons is also out there as far as the safety. Ultimately, like I said, there's still a lot of names, a lot of solid players left out there as far as free agency, a lot of signings to be done. But most importantly, that's going to do it for this episode, guys, for the Day 1 recap. I thank you, as always, for watching, liking, sharing, and subscribing. I will have the Day 2 recap coming later today. That will be in a live stream episode. Don't forget to check it out. Take care. God bless the NFL for all this content and delivering the product they deliver. And again, thank you guys for always watching.